Please remember to give the video a thumbs up, share your insights in the comments section, and subscribe to keep up with our newest narratives. A seemingly innocuous request from my neighbor transformed into an unforgettable evening, one I could never have anticipated, yet life often reveals its surprises at the most unexpected moments. The air was thick with warmth and humidity on that mid-July evening when a knock echoed through my front door. Having just completed the post-dinner cleanup, the aroma of garlic and herbs hung in the air, a fragrant reminder of the meal enjoyed. The stillness of my home enveloped me, punctuated only by the distant serenade of cicadas outside and the soft murmur of a late-night talk show emanating from living room 2. My astonishment when he swung the door open, I found myself face to face with unexpected guest. There stood Tyler, the son of my neighbor, a young man of 24, tall and broad-shouldered, with dark hair that glistened slightly from the warmth of the summer sun. I had known him since his teenage years, consistently polite and always wearing an easy smile, yet here I was bathed in the gentle illumination of me porch light, and he appeared transferred in some inexplicable way. "Hello, Mrs. Callahan," he said, his deep voice last with a hint of uncertainty. "I apologize for reaching out at this hour, but I was hoping you might be able to give me a ride." I rubbed my hands against dish towel that lingered in my grasp. "Shall we embark on a journey together to a destination? Shall we venture Morelia? Stone's throw away. My car is broken down and my mother is already fast asleep, though I might summon a cab." He absent-mindedly scratched the back of his neck, a sheepish expression crossing his face. "My wallet remains at home, forgotten in the rush of the day." For a brief moment I found myself hesitating. The hour was late, and I found myself nestled in the embrace of my cozy night attire, an aged t-shirt paired with relaxed pajama pants, yet there was always a tenderness in my heart for Tyler. He was a decent young man, dependable and compassionate. I let out a soft sigh, shaking my head while a faint smile played on my lips. "Allow me 5 minutes to transform." He flashed a grin. "Thank you, Mrs. C. Your kindness means a lot to me." 15 minutes later, we found ourselves on the road. The tranquil small town we called home lay still at this hour, with street lights illuminating the pavement and casting elongated shadows that danced softly in the night. The air conditioner in my car battled valiantly against the oppressive summer heat. "Will a delicate fragrance of lavender wafted gently through the cabin?" "What transpired with your vehicle?" inquired, stealing a glance at him while navigating the road. Tyler let out breath, his head shaking in disbelief. "Batteries have run out of power. It seems I may have inadvertently left my headlights illuminated for an extended period." A soft laugh escaped me, but as a gustly air to enlighten me, he replied, his voice heavy with exasperation. The radio murmured gently in the background, a languid blithe melody that harmonized with the serene closeness of the moment. For a moment silence enveloped us both. It felt peculiar. A palpable tension lingered in the atmosphere, an unvoiced sonnet suspended between us and certainty enveloped me, yet a palpable sensation lingered within. At last Tyler shattered the stillness. "Have you ever pondered the swift passage of time?" I cast a fleeting look in his direction. "Constantly. I swear I was just in high school last year," he said, gazing out the window. "At this moment I find myself navigating the complexities of my existence, and a sense of being left behind looms over me." I nodded, fully grasping the situation. Life often gives us the impression that time is slipping through our fingers. Regardless of our age, he shifted his head in my direction, his eyes holding on to mine for just a moment longer than necessary. "Have you ever experienced that sensation?" As swallowed, his voice held a certain earnestness, a subtle yearning that quickened the rhythm of my heart. "I confess, it happens constantly." Dialogue veered into territory I had not anticipated. Me engaged in a conversation about existence, reflecting on aspirations unfulfilled, and the choice was long to have approached with a different perspective. I recounted the talus of my youth, the perils I had shied away from, the love that had slipped away, and the sepida opportunities that had eluded my grasp. At some point in my journey it dawned on me that Tyler's words transcended his own narrative. He spoke of me, of us, of a connection that had been silently blossoming in the tranquility of the night as we arrived at his destination. A shadowy apartment complex on the fringes of town. The atmosphere surrounding us was heavy with an unspoken tension that lingered in the silence. He paused a moment, off uncertainty hanging in the air, before finally reaching for the doorknob. "Mercy, Tyler." My voice carried a gentle strength. He let out a breath, a slow shake of his head accompanying their "Least forget it yet." As he emerged from the car, a moment of hesitation washed over him. He glanced over his shoulder, his gaze locking onto mine, and for an instant everything else dissolved into background, and then in an instant he vanished, slipping away into darkness. Sleep eluded me that night. Trive echoed in my thoughts. The conversation lingered, and Tyler's gaze haunted me. It was as if he perceived something Deeper within me, beyond the mere role of a neighbor, I convinced myself. It was all in my head, that I was analyzing a fleeting instance, yet beneath the surface, I was aware of truth. As dawn broke, a sense of disquiet stirred within. I navigated my daily routine as if on autopilot. The aroma of coffee fills the air, a gentle morning stroll beckons, and the nurturing act of watering my plants unfolds, yet an unsettling sensation lingered within me, as if a subtle transformation had occurred. To my surprise, I found myself face to face with Tyler once more, and it was sooner than I had anticipated. Just after noon, another knock echoed through me door, my breath hitched in my throat, my hand lingered above the knob, caught in a moment of uncertainty. As he hesitated before finally turning it, and there he stood in the light of day. He appeared that transformed. The gentle afternoon sun cast a golden light on him, highlighting the defined contours of his jawline against the backdrop of his sun-kissed skin. His dark hair remained slightly tousled, and his gray t-shirt egged his broad frame in a manner I hadn't truly observed before. "Hey," he said, his voice slightly growly, as if he had been contemplating this visit just as deeply as I had. "Hey," I responded, meaning a neutral tone. A moment of silence lingered in the air, excessive in length, burdened with heaviness. At long last, I shattered it all. As well, he exhaled softly, adjusting his stance. "I simply wanted to express my gratitude last night." I crossed my arms and leaned against the doorframe. "You have already expressed your gratitude. I understand yet. I wish to approach it with the utmost care." He raised a modest brown paper bag, extending it towards me with a gentle gesture. "A haze from that quaint cafe on Main. I recalled your fondness for their pastries." That took me by surprise. I grasped the bag, my fingers grazing his, and in that fleeting moment, familiar tension from the previous night ignited once more. "You didn't have to do that," I said, my voice gentler. This time I had the desire to unmove to the side. "May I invite you in?" He paused for just a moment before giving a slight note in the cozy embrace of my kitchen. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the rich scent of buttery pastries, creating an inviting atmosphere. He took a slow sip of his drink, his fingers wandering along the rim of the cup in a distracted manner. "Last night, you appeared to be different." I finally remarked. Tyler lifted his gaze to meet mine, his face a mask of ambiguity. "Could you clarify what you mean?" I exhaled softly, my mind wandering in pursuit of the perfect expression. "I'm uncertain, simply more subdued, graver than the norm." Swept his fingers through his hair. I suppose I found myself lost in thought concerning what matter. He paused, uncertainty flickering in his eyes. At last he met my gaze. "Concerning you." A flutter stirred within my stomach. Tyler realized this might sound insane. Hesitated hastily. He leaned forward slightly, his hands intertwined in a thoughtful gesture. "I wish to avoid causing you any discomfort, yet last night there was a mystical shift in the air, wasn't there?" I swallowed hard, my fingers tightening around the coffee cup. "I might choose to deceive. I might be able to dismiss it, yet an unspoken understanding glinched between us. Indeed," I confessed almost inaudibly. A languid breath escaped his lips, as if he had been suspended in time, holding on to the air within him. "I can't pinpoint the moment it began," he murmured. "Perhaps it has existed all along, and I simply failed to recognize it until this moment." My heart thrilled relentlessly within the confines of my chest. This was not meant to unfold. I was 28 years his senior. I had known him since his teenage years, yet last night, and even in this moment, it was not occurred before me. A man stood there, amazed at me with an intense that suggested I was something he had long desired. I ought to have put an end to a tone, ought to have halted this unfolding situation before it ventured any deeper. Yet he extended his hand across the table, his fingers grazing mine, lingering in that moment, poised in anticipation. For the first time in ages, I allowed myself to ponder. What if I chose to stay? Ought to have withdrawn my hand. I ought to have brushed it aside, transformed the situation into a light-hearted jest, or softly reminded Tyler of our neighborly bond. That this was utterly absurd. However, I did note instead. I allowed the silence to linger between us, my fingers resting beneath us, the warmth of his touch permeating me skin.